update. I thought it was time to do a bit of a Bobby update. So for any of you that follow me due to Bobby's haemophilia, if you're in the same position, first of all, we apply for Bobby's blue badge. So if you are a newly diagnosed parent and you weren't aware, you are eligible for a blue badge. Because basically, if you're with the child that's got severe haemophilia, if they have an accident or a spontaneous bleed, or maybe they've already had a bleed and they've got an injury, they've had a bleed into the muscle, obviously the mobility is impaired. Obviously Bobby's a baby, so he doesn't really have any mobility at the minute. I am his mobility, so that is why you're eligible for one. So, you know, should he have an accident or a spontaneous bleed, we can get to the car as quick as possible and get him to the nearest hospital or care centre so he can be administered, you know, his factor 8, because obviously he isn't on any medication at the moment. So every council will be different, so you'll apply for your blue badge via your own council website. So if you go on the gov.website and go onto blue badge, if you put in your postcode, it will redirect you to your specific council website. So when I put Bobby's application in, it advised me, basically they emailed me straight away to say, we've accepted your application, we're going to review it, it'll take between 6 and 12 weeks to come through. And I thought, oh God, you know what, I wish I would have applied for that earlier. It was such a long time wait. And then I had to go on to a different page and pay a £10 fee for the blue badge. But for some reason it wouldn't let me do it, so I ended up ringing the council. Oh my God, I was on hold for like 50 minutes, but it was well worth it. So we got through to a lovely lady who took the payment for me, and while I was on the phone I started telling her a bit about like Bobby's condition and everything like that. And then, honest to God, literally a week later, so 5 working days, Bobby's blue badge comes in the post. Because she did advise me on the phone, they've recently sort of opened up the guidelines in terms of who can apply for a blue badge. So they are horrendously backlogged, and it'll probably be the same right across the UK. And she said, oh, someone might need to phone you to ask you extra questions. No one's phoned me, and literally 5 working days, and it's here. So we're absolutely buzzing that it's come through so quickly. So well done, Warrington Borough Council, on that one. So I got the letter through and it says, we are pleased to tell you that your application for a blue badge was successful. We enclosed a disabled person's parking badge, which is this here. Also enclosed a parking clock. You can see that, so this is the parking clock. So I was not aware that with a blue badge you can park on double yellow lines, single yellow lines. I mean, it just blows my mind, absolutely. But some places like double yellow lines, for example, or maybe town centres, there is a time period, so you might have to be back to your car within 2 hours or within 3 hours. So this is where the clock comes in. So you can sort of put on there the time that you arrived and pop it in your windscreen. We had to obviously take a picture of Bobby, of his shoulders upwards. And at first I was getting myself really stressed out, because when you read up on like the criteria to have a photo done for blue badge, it's saying that the eyes must be open, they mustn't be smiling, it should be expressionless, they've got to be in a white background. And I'm like, you try telling a baby, like, keep your eyes open, don't move your head, don't look that way. Oh my God, it was hilarious trying to get the photo. But then, when I've done further research into it, when it's a baby, those don't apply. They can even have their eyes shut, as long as you've got them like on a white background and it's sort of from the shoulders up. So just bear that one in mind and don't go through the hours of stress trying to get the right photo like I did. But I've got to laugh because, so basically the photo that we took looks nothing like what they've printed on the back of the card. They've stretched the image and he looks like he's got a massive cone head. But I mean, we're laughing about it because let's face it, we know he's gorgeous in real life and it's just comical. So this lasts for 3 years, which is great. So we've already used it out. So literally, from me coming out, getting out of the post box, I was on my way to Tesco, with Bobby, and we used our first disabled space, which was great. And so essentially you put that front way up in the front of the car, in the driver's side, in the window, clearly visible, not with the image on the back, it's that side that goes in. Tell you what though, the next day we went to Trafford Centre, and I did park in a disabled bay, because obviously it was with Bobby. And then when we come out, literally, there were no disabled spaces left, they were all full. Yesterday, we went to Aldi, every single disabled space was full. So here's me thinking, oh brilliant, you know, we're gonna get a car parking space no matter where we go. I don't know if it's because they've opened up the guidelines or what, but usually you see loads of disabled spaces that aren't used. Well, not anymore. Also come with this little booklet, because obviously, you know, you've got to know your rights and your responsibilities. You know, if Bobby's not in the car, you're not allowed to use it. You know, it's like £1,000 fine. It's not worth taking that chance. But also, I would just feel morally wrong using a disabled space if Bobby wasn't in the car for me. So I won't be taking the mick. I will only be using it whilst we've got Bobby in the car. So obviously he's coming Christmas shopping with me. Sorry, I know I shouldn't laugh, but do you know what? You've got to make light of some things, and it's a benefit that Bobby gets. Also, it opens your eyes to so many other benefits as well. So for example, my local shopping centre, the Golden Square, because we have a blue badge, we park for free. Also, when you go the likes of Chester Zoo, you can park for free. Also, if you've got a paying child or a paying, so for example, like if you go to Chester Zoo and Bobby's at the age where you pay for him as a child, I would get in free as a carer with the blue badge. So just have a look out there as well. It opens up the floodgates for so many other benefits that you're entitled to if you've got the blue badge. I've also been made aware that apparently we could be eligible for DLA, the Disability Living Allowance. I think there's like 3 tiers, and we would be the bottom tier with the least. But if you think about it, I mean, the amount of trips that we've already had to Alder Hey, and when Bobby starts on his new medication, we're going to be having weekly trips to the hospital. So it is very costly, time consuming, taking time off work. So I did have a look at the application form for that, and it does look quite intense. So, and I think I need a bit of guidance from the team at Alder Hey as well, because there's a section that they can potentially fill in. So I'll keep you posted on that and let you know how that goes once I've got my head around it. But yeah, absolutely buzzing that the blue badge came through so quickly. What next? So also this last week received a letter from Alder Hey, and I assume that it's gone out to probably everyone that is under the care at Alder Hey, and maybe all the hospitals will be doing the same. And basically it says that, and many of you are aware, there are some very exciting developments in treatment for severe haemophilia, and in August this year NHS England agreed to approve I'm going to try and say it, Emicizumab, I can't say it, but you know what I'm on about, the Hemlibra drug. So, as a treatment for adults and children affected by severe haemophilia A with factor A levels of less than 1%. This treatment is not a factor replacement, but it is a therapeutic antibody which works by joining activated factor 9 to factor 10, mimicking the action of factor 8. I mean, this stuff just blows my mind. I've still not completely got my head around how it works, but my God, isn't it genius? And I am so happy that it could not have come at a better time for us. So essentially it's saying that it is given as an injection under the skin once a week for at least 5 weeks. For some people, treatment continues once a week, but for others, treatment might be given less frequently. We are very keen to give as many children as possible access to this treatment, but it is essential that we follow the instructions from the NHSE. It is also important that we discuss the treatment option with parents and children alike. It may not be the best treatment option for each child or family at this time. Understandably, many of you are keen to switch treatment as soon as possible, so on behalf of the team I've outlined some information about who is currently allowed to switch to the clinical criteria, and also the clinical criteria we are using to prioritise who to switch first. So I really feel for them, because I can imagine so many parents have seen this new life-changing drug, and of course, as a parent, you want that for your child and you want it now, but obviously there is things like money constraints and who do they prioritise first, and obviously that's got to happen. So essentially, people who are going to be priority, so if they've mentioned in here, if your child has an inhibitor to factor VIII, they're going to have a separate discussion with those people about appropriate treatments. So the criteria for starting the treatment, so your child must have severe haemophilia A with a factor VIII level of less than 1%. Well, we tick that box for Bobby. A haemotrack must be kept up to date and be synchronised each week, and you need to agree to continue recording all treatment on Haemtrack. I don't know what Haemtrack is. Maybe it's something that you guys have already used or started to use, or maybe we'll start to use that when Bobby goes on the medication. I don't know. You need to be able to commit to an increased frequency in appointments. Well, we've already been informed that when Bobby starts on this treatment, that it will be weekly visits to the hospital. So as well as those 3 points, they also are looking at like clinical priority to be offered the Hemlibra treatment. So no previous treatment with factor VIII. Factor VIII replacement received around the time of birth, i.e. those who have not yet had surgery for a port. So that's a tick for Bobby. He has not yet had the surgery for the port. And when I met with the consultant, he said, what we've done is we've looked at, the cost to put the port in. Then it's obviously, you can get infections into the port, that's another hospital stay. All these factors sort of add up to, the reasoning behind why they're going to prioritise babies first that haven't had the port, which obviously makes sense. For those with poor venous access, those with target joint or recurrent muscle or joint bleeds, they're going to be priority. Recurrent line infections, so for those who have had multiple infections into their port. Maybe someone currently needs a new port, they're going to be priority. Maybe a patient that is starting to self-infuse, a parent who is learning how to administer treatment, and all other children. So that is a bit of a blanket there, I suppose, but it also says it's got some further information on the back. So, but it tells you a bit about the treatment, and it says the treatment is given under the skin and so it can sting. You need to follow NHS guidance for any changes in their criteria for starting treatment with Emicizumab, Hemlibra. So yeah, that was a bit of an update. So Bobby has got his next clinic appointment on the 16th of December, so that'll be the longest period of time that we've ever not gone to the hospital. And God, I mean, touch wood, we don't have any we don't have any reason to visit in between. So moving on, we joined the Haemophilia Society charity, and if you are a family with haemophilia or a newly diagnosed parent, definitely join the charity. I love their Facebook page as well for keeping me up to date. But how amazing is this? So they do newly diagnosed weekends. So essentially they phoned us up a couple of weeks ago and have invited us to a newly diagnosed weekend. It's completely free for us as a family, and we're going to be going to Centre Parks, Sherwood Forest, which is my absolute favourite one. The venue's great for us because it's far away enough to feel like you're on holiday, but it is probably only like a 2.5 hour drive, so it's still completely manageable with a toddler and a newborn, and we absolutely love that Centre Parks. So we're going to be going for 3 nights, Friday through to the Monday. Luckily Sean already had it booked off work. I believe that usually there's a year's waiting list for these sorts of things, but I'm guessing that they must have had a last minute dropout family, and she contacted us because I did express that that would be a great location for us. So because Sean already had it booked off, it was the straight away yes for us, an absolute no-brainer. So from what I believe is that these weekends we will meet other families. There's going to be talks in terms of, you know, for newly diagnosed parents. So I don't know, what is haemophilia or treatment, or maybe listening to other people's stories. So I'm dead excited because I'll get to meet some other families in a similar situation. If you're one of them people that you're watching this video and you're going to be there, please make sure you come and say hi. So I'm excited. I believe that I don't know if they do like creches, so I think they do activities for obviously the children. So obviously Bobby's got haemophilia, Sonny hasn't, but they provide for all siblings. So I assume that they'll go off into the creches while Sean and I attend some talks and meet some other families. And do you know what? It's just the tonic that we need at the minute. We've not obviously had any sort of break. It's been, you know, a difficult 4 months with, you know, Bobby's diagnosis, me getting over a section surgery, just so much. And when you're on maternity leave as well, obviously money is tight, so a free weekend away with the family could not come at a better time. Whilst we're talking about the Haemophilia Society, they do their own lottery, and it's better odds than the national lottery. So I thought, you know what, I'm giving back to the Haemophilia Society, but also we've got a chance of winning up to £25,000 every week. So if you're not already on the Haemophilia lottery, get yourself on it. Go onto the website below in case you want to go on and sign up. The update from today, I hope you enjoyed it. If you are a newly diagnosed parent or a family with a haemophiliac child, then feel free to reach out or comment in the box below. And that's it for the update for Bobby. Thanks for listening, guys. To stay updated with any further updates on Bobby, then just hit the red subscribe button. It's completely free to subscribe, and you'll be notified when I upload any new videos.